Welcome back to Malum Cross New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I shall see what's going on a lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where we'll be relaxing. I'll talk about my day yesterday. Why not? Because that's basically what this. It's a video diary. Now I think about it, it's a daily video diary. It'd kind of be remiss if I didn't talk about like my daily happenings. Is that kind of a point of it? But yeah, the reason about yesterday was a pre-recorded episode is because I went with a few friends out to London to have a nice time, and we basically did a karaoke session in a private karaoke room, which is not something we've done karaoke quite a few times, but we always did it at people's houses. This is the first time we've done it in a proper karaoke room, and honestly, it was a good time. What can I say? But anyway, we'll get into that in a second. So hello everyone, right now in Fawnhollow, it's 5:28 PM on Sunday, May 21st, 2023. Basically, it's as simple as it gets. We, to be fair, quite a last minute booking at a place, so it was thankful that I even had space, but we booked for 2 hours. There was 8 of us. We went to one of the karaoke locations, or the karaoke location, and we booked for 2 hours, and we just got taken to a room, and that was basically it, just karaoke. It was a karaoke bar as well, so they had, of course, a very overpriced drinks with classic London prices. Like, it was a pitcher of, cocktail was, £34, which is, pretty expensive, I would say. For London prices, it's not, that crazy expensive, but it's not like this was the best cocktail I ever had. It was, it was fine, I would say. But yeah, for London prices, it's not insane. It's sort of that's I'm not going to be that's expected necessarily, but it's not unusual, I suppose. But yeah, we just went into a karaoke thing. Now I've spoken about karaoke before, and obviously I like it quite a lot. If you've watched any of my videos, you know how often I randomly burst into song. Not particularly well, mind you. I'm not a trained singer. I bring it up every single time, being it would be really cool to actually be a trained singer at some point and learn how to properly sing. But that's something for future me to eventually figure out. And you can also might be able to tell my voice is a little bit dead. I didn't mean to click that, but whatever. Oh wait, what? Okay, I think I actually skipped the rules, or I thought I'd click yep, but maybe I didn't. What was I going to say? Yeah, I've done karaoke a few times before, but never done it in a private room. Well, actually, that's not true, because technically, when I went to China with my family ages ago, they did karaoke in a private room with family friends. And I do remember that. That was ages ago. I was 8, so it wasn't really what I had in mind. But I mean, in my teenage to adulthood years, I don't think I've done a private karaoke room. And is the money worth it? It's fine. It kind of is dependent, I suppose, on your situation. It's not anything, I think, karaoke-wise, that you couldn't do at home. Theoretically, I would say. I was about to go talk to Captain, which is not how this works. But it is it does have improvements over doing it at home. For one, you're in a private room. For it's sound padded or whatever. If you're in a neighborhood and you're you're in a semi-detached house, or you're in a house share or something, you can't really do karaoke, especially late into the night, because your flatmates are just going to be shut up. I'm trying to sleep. Or whatever have you. You need either a fully detached house, or a remote house or something, or a soundproof room, which is not exactly the most common thing, I think, in the world. But having it in an actual private area, which is actually probably properly soundproofed, and is also dedicated to karaoke. So it's sort of if you go there and you're hearing karaoke, people aren't going to be "Rah! What a nuisance." You're going to be what did I expect? Probably. Well, if you like to reason it through, I suppose. I think that's kind of the main, one of the main benefits is having a dedicated room to it. It's also can be nice location wise if it's central to you and a load of friends or whatever, instead of some people having to do a really long journey, etc, etc. Another nice benefit is, of course, it's the fact that it's connected to a bar, so you don't really have to think about drinks. Sometimes you can get karaoke bars which provide food as well. This one I think does, but you had to talk to them in advance about it. I think I don't really remember, to be honest. I saw it on the website. But it's nice to be able to, just order drinks at a bar and they bring it up to you, and it's oh, cool. Well, excuse me, my throat. Another big thing is obviously their sound system is probably better than most people's sound systems at home. Because they have an entire system dedicated to karaoke. Most people are not going to have an entire system dedicated to karaoke. But they have like the mic set up, and you have like separate volume knobs for both like the soundtrack, the mics or whatever have you, the lights, etc. You know, party atmosphere. If you go to a nice one, I'm sure there's like more fun party activity and accessory things which you can have as well. It seems like I cannot even find this treasure, so I guess you win, Biscuit. I felt like we didn't even have enough time to look over the entire island compared to usual. I don't really know, to be honest. We might as well find it and then give it back to him. Oh, is this it? This must be it. Yeah, there we go. I'm surprised I haven't put Lily of the Valley here, to be honest. I guess we'll do that now. Just so that never happens again. But here we go, Biscuit. And I don't know what happens if you just open it up anyway. And I assume Biscuit probably gets a bit annoyed at you because you didn't win the game. But here we go. We'll return it to you afterwards anyway. Yeah, what was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say. But our deficit. So on the whole, it's like fine. The deficit's well. One, it costs money. Like, it's not insanely expensive. It's fine. It was like, let me think. Hold on. So it was like 9 people for 2 hours, 144. So it's about 72. So it's about £8 an hour per person. Or £9 an hour for us because we had 8 people instead of 9 people. But which is fine. Like, you know, if anything, it's a bit on the cheaper side, I suppose, for an activity in London. To be perfectly honest, per person, I think about it. Like anything less than £10 per person, I think, in London for an hour is like, oh, that's pretty cheap activity-wise. London concerning. Remember, we're talking about in London, like central London, so that's why. It's surprisingly cheap. But you know what's cheaper than paying money for that? Free, I suppose, if you could just do it at someone's house. Which is fair enough. And another deficit as well is the fact that we have limited song lists. This place did have like almost all songs. The only like notable lack for me personally was there was no Sia songs apart from Titanium, which is, you know, a shame because I think Sia songs are very fun karaoke songs. Or at least Chandelier is, you know, especially when, you know, people have a few drinks down, etc, etc. But to be honest, I don't really know many of the artists in general, so you know, that was like the only one I noticed was particularly missing. We didn't have like any particularly indie songs or whatever. Like I think some of my friends looked up like some like rappers or other like smaller artists. They didn't have them, which is, you know, definitely a deficit. You know, I'm not going to pretend that's not a deficit. And obviously doing it yourself is, you know, you can just put it up on Spotify. You can literally choose whatever song, any language or whatever have you. It's not like you really need to care about licensing fees or licensing promotions or like copyrights in general, because, you know, I'm gonna be honest, musical artists aren't gonna come after like 10 people singing karaoke at their friend's house or something. So I mean, I guess the cost of that would just be having Spotify Premium, right? Because I don't think you could do it on the free version, but still. And I guess you would also have to buy your own mics if you wanted like a proper karaoke setup. Because it's more like doing it at home is more like a sing along rather than karaoke. Because at least in karaoke it doesn't have the actual, you know, singer themselves, which is, you know, that's either a benefit or deficit depending on your perspective. And my perspective is a benefit, I think, because like the point of karaoke is you're singing, right? So, you know, well, you don't need the actual singer there. they can put you off. And to be fair, with better karaoke rooms, you can do advanced things like change the key, right? So, and instead of it sounding weird, you can just like lower or raise the key for the instrumental, and, you know, without the singer there, it doesn't sound weird. You know, they don't get chipmunked or anything, I'd imagine. I forgot what else I was going to say about that. Which is helpful if you have a different vocal range. So it just basically means, theoretically, that you could have a much nicer time being like, oh, you know, I really love this song, but I can't sing it because it's like too high or too low for me. Shift the key. There you go. Put it up, put it down, like 5 semitones, you're good. But this place wasn't that fancy, so it didn't actually have that as an option, but that is a thing I know is an option in karaoke in some places, and not this one in particular. But I still think you should consider it as a general benefit. Yeah. So I don't know, you know, it depends on the situation, depends on what you're doing, what you're feeling, etc, etc. What the situation calls for, I think, for each and every person. Whether you decide whether doing it in a private booth is better or necessarily worse than just hosting it at your own home. I think general, mostly for my purposes, my friends' purposes, it's probably better at someone's house, provided that it's not a nuisance to either like the people in the house or neighbours, etc., etc. Because while of course it's nice to have fun with yourself, you should still be considerate of other people. Doing a karaoke party at like 6 p.m. like on a weekend or something, not unreasonable. Doing it at like 2 a.m. kind of unreasonable if it's like noisy. It's sort of thing, like, with house parties, whatever, like, even though it doesn't personally bother me, like, if someone has, like, a house party, like, if a neighbour has, like, goes late into the night, I think that the range of, you still got to be reasonable, like, what the range of limitations are, I suppose, of, like, being loud is, right, like, I think, like, all bets are kind of off, like, from before 8 p.m, then from, like, 8 to midnight, it's still, like, you can still have a house party, you can still be kind of loud, but you should probably be at least a little bit considerate, especially if it's a weekday. I'd be, like, from 10 onwards, I'm like, well, I don't know why you would do that, but that's just kind of, like, unless none of your neighbours work, I guess, and then, fair enough, but that seems like a more of a specific case. I don't know, it's from, like, midnight onwards, depends, I suppose, on the situation, your neighbourhood, and what people think in general, but, from midnight onwards, I feel like you should probably be more considerate of being, like, at least quiet, especially even on weekends and that sort of thing, because even if, like, they're not doing anything particularly special in the morning or whatever, it's not like people want to go to sleep, like, hearing blaring music, the exception being, of course, if you are living in an area which is, like, known for parties or, like, anything, like, you can't expect to live near, like, a music concert stadium and be like, what, it's so noisy at 2 a.m. still, like, that's kind of like par for the course, I assume. I'm just saying with some, like, if you, like, lived in a countryside village or something, or like I don't know, it's like a small town or something where I feel like it's particularly more applicable, where it's not expected to have, like, these house parties all the time. So basically, all that long spiel, condensed down, is, it's while it's all well and good to have your friend, with your friends as well, you should still be considerate of other people, right? And that's just general life advice, which I think is good, and also probably sounded very preachy coming from me like that, because I'd imagine most of you kind of follow that sort of thought process. We're not even going to pick up these stars because we have far too many of these yellow stars. I'm going to be perfectly honest. We do not need them. But we'll still pick up the wow, we actually know. We must know every single non-wand, non-zodiac furniture item recipe now. Surely. I don't know if that's true, actually. But slowly but surely, it's only taken, like, almost 4 years or whatever for us to actually almost get them all. And I still don't have them all, when I think about it. Because I'm still missing a few of the zodiac furniture items. That's just a normal star fragment. We don't want that. Sorry, star fragment. I don't want to play with you anymore. So yeah, a private karaoke room. It's nice, Is it worth it? Yeah, up to you. Is basically all I can really say. I think, like, a nice karaoke room is worth it. But for just a standard one, I don't think it's necessarily, unless you don't have anywhere. Excuse me. But anyway, I didn't actually talk about the actual experience itself. I don't really know what to say. It was just like a normal karaoke experience. We played a load of songs. Like, they had like a little screen, I just sat by the screen. I know how it is at karaoke. Like, some people are like into it. Some people are not into it. Some people are into it after a few drinks. Some people are into it, but they're kind of like shy and they don't like, it's a bit embarrassing singing. I personally am into it, and I'm not really that shy about like performing that much. Like, I'm not going to be like, I just perform, whenever, just catch me like dancing on the club floor or anything like that. I'm not that like out there performative. But things like karaoke, if it's like in a karaoke room, I don't mind, I'll sing first or whatever. Doesn't bother me. I don't even remember if I did sing first, to be perfectly honest. I remember I just sat by the screen and I just started putting songs on, because I was like, something's got to get the ball rolling. I must have put like a Taylor Swift song on first or something. Or maybe I asked someone. For like requests. I don't know. But basically, I was just trying to get the ball rolling. And then once it was rolling, I was like, let's go get drinks and get people drunk. Because, when everyone's, sorry if you're underage and you can't actually drink. And maybe this is not something I shouldn't necessarily be talking about, because this is Animal Crossing and I don't really know what the age of my audience is. But I feel like it's implied, just had a few drinks, just to get, loosen up a little bit or whatever. And, people are having a fantastic time doing karaoke. And it's always a bit of fun, I don't consider a particularly good singer or anything, but I at least do have a bit of a musical ear. You know, I've had musical training, I suppose, in the past, so you know, I understand things like harmonies and whatever. So you know, I always try and do harmonies. I always try and do like a bit of backing up vocals if it's not like me as a main singer for the song or whatever. I try and do some ad libs here and there. I definitely do not have a vocal control for it, but it's fun anyway to go for it. The only really notable one, not notable one, but I don't even know why I was going about conversation. Like, immediately, I thought I had something in the buffer there, but as the rest of the conversation planned out, just immediately evaporated. Because that's kind of a point of karaoke, you know? You just, like, I don't know. I guess it's easy for me to say, because I understand, certainly even when I was younger, you know, if I were to do karaoke, I'd be like, nah, this is too embarrassing. I'd never sing in front of a group of people. Nowadays, I'm more like, I don't really care. And it's weird because it's not like I don't care and I'm like, oh, I'm here to like hedonistic, I'm here to have fun, I'm here to relax and unwind, like let loose and that sort of thing. I'm not like a party animal or anything. I don't know. I guess it's like, this is a fun activity for me and this is kind of like what we're here for, so why not? I guess it's sort of like, this is, I don't know really, to be honest. I don't know. Anyway, karaoke is just sort of like a fun activity, to be honest. It's just a lot of these activities, sometimes you just need to get the ball rolling. And I'm increasingly finding, like, me now, like, I'm saying, like, in my latest mid-20s, like, early 20s sort of age, I'm very much, you know, I don't mind being the sort of person being like, let's get a ball rolling on something. I remember it was like a event or whatever, and it was just like, oh, you know, it's like, this is time where everyone goes on the dance floor and starts dancing or whatever, but, you know, no one wants to go there. I was like, screw that, I'm just going to go on the dance floor, I'll start dancing, and then some people are eventually going to join me, you know. It's don't get me wrong, it's very awkward being that first person on that dance floor, like starting like off the dancing, you know, even if people, you know, have had a bit to drink or whatever, it's still very awkward being like, yeah, I'm gonna walk onto the dance floor, I can't really dance, I'm just gonna do whatever. And then, you know, you just gotta stick, right? You know, if you're that person starting off the avalanche, you just got to stick there and stick with it until a few people start joining you, because as soon, you know, it's like that video, have you seen it, of a person, they'll be like, how you start like a dance crowd, you know, the first person looks like a lunatic and dancing, but no one wants to be that first person. It's a lot more trendy, not more trendy, but like it's a lot cooler to be like the 10th person joining in or whatever. So you be that first person, because then that sparks the people who's like, oh, I don't want to be the first person, but I'll be the second or third person to join in, you know, just because, you know, someone's already there. Because then it sort of looks like I'm doing them a favour dancing with them, right? And then everyone starts coming in, then everyone's dancing and having a good time. And then I just quietly leave the dance floor and I sit out back. That's basically what I did at this event. I don't really know what to say. It was just like an event, you know. It was like the quiz time's over, like now everyone's like has a few drinks down them, you know, like let's get started dancing. The band's gonna start. No, the DJ was there like playing music or something, and I was like, all right, let's go. It's like, is this time we dance? And people were like, yeah, and I was like, all right. I mean, I just walked to the dance floor, started dancing. Go for it. And then once everyone was there, that's exactly what happened. I was like, cool, everyone's dancing, I'm just gonna leave. Now that didn't really happen this time with karaoke, and it wasn't really like I was like the first one to be like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to the karaoke booth and just start singing or anything like that, because, you know, I mean, we were all kind of there to do karaoke. I don't even think I wasn't one of the main singers on the first song. I think I was just trying to find like songs to add to the list, to get like a buffer of a few songs going. I'm not gonna pretend I was like some sort of trendsetter or anything. It was just like, I don't know. Why not? I must say that the karaoke system that they had, like, I think that interface was awful, might add. It's like something from the 2000s or whatever, like running in like Windows Me or something. And I just remember, like, we had such a weird font choice. It, like, you click on the song and a dialogue box comes up and it's like add to queue or play now, and but it's written in like weirdly like cursive font. It's like, why would you choose this as your font option for adding it to the queue or whatever? I don't know. I genuinely have no idea why we did that, but. And it was like, it wasn't like a touchscreen where you could like scroll up and down a thing. You had to like click the arrows of a scroll bar at the side, because the scroll bar didn't work properly. So I would say, I think this is not an amazing private room. I think it's just kind of like a cheap private room. So it's sort of like, you know, you get what you're paid for. But I was saying that to a friend, because we were having a conversation as like, is that necessarily better than just doing it by yourself? And the consensus was not really, but, you know, in this case it was, because it was convenient location wise. But I was also like, maybe it's worth trying out some of the other different like karaoke places as well, because they might be better. This one, I would say the interface is kind of like, it was fine. It was mostly, you know, carried by the fact that our friend circle was, you know, all friends with each other. So, you know, we all had a good time like that. But It's the sort of thing where I'm like, you know, I can see how this karaoke bar can be improved, you know. Room, get some disco lights going on in there or something, you know. Give everyone some like percussion instruments or whatever, so even if you're not singing, you know, give them like some tambourines, some maracas or whatever, you know. Glow sticks, like battery powered glow sticks, so you can like cheer on whoever's like singing at the same time, you know. But get some goofy accessories on there, because, you know, people are gonna have drinks, people are gonna go wild, that sort of thing. This one is quite bare bones, I suppose. You know, make your own fun. I don't know. Is this just like a review of a karaoke private room? I guess so. Anyway, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Like, comment, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Twitter, Discord down below. Hope you can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. Bye-bye for now.